Hey, good afternoon from the city of Dallas. Today is a beautiful day, and I have an awesome guest in the house as usual. If you are joining, I would like to say thank you so much for joining and thank you for being here. If you're joining, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining and thank you for being here. I try as much as possible to act like a tech guru because I am streaming from my studio, and then we're streaming live from YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I just be feeling like I should speed. When you're just streaming from different dimensions, I'm like, okay, but man, it's a lot of work. So for all of you who plan to join today's conversation, I want to say thank you in advance for sharing your life with us and for just hopping in to be a part of today's conversation. Today we are going to be talking about friendship. And I know that friendship can be a handful, and friendship can be powerful, and friendship can be multidimensional. Like, friendship can also look like heartbreak. I've seen people who lost their friends to, number one, to death. Some were ill, and then some they just stopped becoming friends. And some friends can also be very powerful. They don't give a damn about you, like they don't care about you at all. For them, it's a dog eat dog world, so they don't understand loyalty, they don't understand faithfulness, they don't care. You don't even mean anything to them. They don't like you, but they like the idea of you. They don't like you at all, but they like what they get from you, and they like how you made them feel. So today I will be talking to a friend of mine. We have been friends since I was 19, and I'll be 42 in September. I am one of the people who take pleasure in saying her age. I don't give a damn about some people hide their ages. No, not me. I say it with my bold chest. I like my age. I am aging well. I am enjoying my life, and in 23 years, we have gone through a lot of stuff together in the world. Both of us survived the pandemic. Both of us survived going to college. And then both of us are surviving long distance friendship and relationship. In fact, both of us survived recession and depression. When you're a millennial, like, I don't know what's going on, but if you see or meet a millennial anywhere, hug them and give them money. Like, I don't know, but man, I've lived like 10 lives. I don't even know why I was born when I was born. Like, I should have been born maybe just like last month because you guys were doing so much in this world. And if you're a millennial, we came from the time when we didn't have phones. There were no phones, and we didn't even know we were missing anybody or missing out. Like, life was good without those phones. And then they introduced Nokia, Alcatel, Ericsson into our lives, and then we needed to then have BB pin. And then the moment we started having BB pin and all those things, I just knew that the world was changing. Like, from BB pin, people will be asking for your pin, and then it became WhatsApp, and then now we're dealing with iPhone 18 or whatever. Like, I'm just like, can we just go back to the Stone Age? Because when we didn't have phones, and then we got to a point where we had landlines where you have to put one finger and then roll it. If you don't understand that kind of thing that I just did, you put one finger from somewhere and then roll to dial, and then you roll it again, and then you roll it. If you never did it, don't even be talking to me. Like, if you never even went through that trauma, don't even talk. Like, just leave me alone. Do you understand? And then, like, we have gone through a lot, and here we are after 23 years, and we're in two different countries. I told her that I cannot even forgive her for that one, because it's all her fault. All. Like, I take no part in it. It's all her fault. 100%. I'm a saint in that aspect. We're in two different countries, but we're still here, still vibing and moving, and we're just going to be discussing our friendship and what we think is the reason why we are friends, and why the friendship is different and intentional, and what we also think may be one of the reasons why some of us struggle with friendship, in adulthood or as adults or something. So welcome with me the CEO of Driver Logistics. The company is one of the so many other companies that she has, but I'm hiding the others, because I'm a shareholder by mouth. So I don't want you guys to know yet because I haven't cashed out. Because by the time I introduce this now, some of you are very greedy. You will just go and be doing Judas Iscariot and be cashing out before me because me have been sowing since. And then we have to split this thing. In fact, you will say it live here because now that people are fighting over splitting profits, I need to be sure of how we are splitting this profit because I don't want somebody to now come and say, what did Oyinkan really do? Because me, I'm not going to do, I can't look away. Me, I will not, whoa. If you know me very well, me, I will not sing for you, Ipulu. Me, I will cause trouble. So welcome with me, Toyin Sanwo, the CEO of Driver Logistics. Anytime I'm with Toyin, I have two personalities when I'm with Toyin. There's one that is serious, because both of us are supposedly supposed to be CEOs. Do you understand? It's a very big problem. It's a big problem when your friend is serious and they're not expected to be a serious person. Or you yourself, you are a serious person, your personal brand brings seriousness. And then you are now talking to your friend. I did a video for somebody recently. She told me to send a congratulatory video for something she's doing. She was launching, and I did the video. I was speaking, for now, like an American that I am, and then when I finished, I had to say that in between the conversation, I had to say that I hope you know that this English that I'm speaking is for your audience because you don't deserve it at all. I'm just wasting English. But your audience, they know me as emotions doctor. So I have to show up, like the one who is doing a PhD in counseling, all of those things. But on a normal day, so welcome with me, Toyin Sanwo, Oluwatoyin Sanwo. She's tall. Toyin, how tall are you? She's about 5'11" or something.
Yeah, 5'10".
Oh, like 5'10". Okay, yeah, even short like me.
5'11", yeah. So somewhere in between 10 and 11. So let's just say 5'11".
Oh, okay, yeah, even short like me. Oh, okay.
I'm short like you, Nico. Come on.
It's enough. You're very arrogant. Very arrogant. Well, yeah. I'm 5'5" in height, and I give God the glory. Why are you covering your face?
Oh, you'll be out.
No. I like the height because we are the kind of people that we can hide under the bed, in the cupboard. Yeah, you can't hide. Like the resources we have to use to hide you is a whole lot. Like I can get away with a lot of things. I can just run. So Toyin, 23 years of being in your life and being in my life. What do you think is the reason why we are still friends or we are intentional with our friendship?
So, I think like you said at the beginning, I need to get used to the fact that
I can hardly hear you now, though. I was hearing you better before.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I said I need to remind myself that it's a public conversation. So I'm not behaving like I would behave of camera.
You are even on record.
I want to be
you will just spoil your name.
Yeah, so when I look at this, I think over the years we've actually
it's breaking,
Okay, but I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think when you move forward is better.
Okay, so I'll just move forward.
Okay.
Forward is now. Okay, so I was saying that I think that I think our friendship has evolved over the years when you think about this. We're not exactly what we used to be, right? And a lot of things. But I think the key highlight of it to me is a lot more intentionality. I think that's the way I put it. And honestly, the more I think about friendship now as an adult, right, at this age, the more I see a lot of similarities between platonic friendships, like we call it, and romantic relationships. you know, because a lot of times they're different, okay? But they're not different as we think they are, right? Because they both have certain things that they demand, of other parties, and we'll probably talk about that, down the line, some of the things that have to fit in terms of similarities. And I think that's also how I've navigated friendship with you. So there's a lot of growth that has happened. And I think that I told you that a few times as well, that I don't think some people know how to keep friendship. Some people are like, you're very good at it. I don't think I'll put myself in that category, to be honest, right? But over the years, I've also sort of like learned to be better. You learn to be better friends, So I think if I look at it, the key highlight of that is intentionality.
The
So
sound is breaking, like it goes on and off. I don't know why.
yeah, but I can hear you clearly though.
Yeah, I am the one who cannot hear you clearly.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it goes, like I can hear some
Is
of
it
the
better
things you're
now?
saying. Yeah, it's way better now.
Okay, fantastic. Feel better?
Yeah, did you do something after you said is it better now?
Yeah, I did. So I just did something and I realized it got better.
Okay, it's better now. Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying that the key highlight for me basically is intentionality. Yeah. I think that over the years I've become more intentional in our friendship, right? There are not two friendships that are the same, by the way. I mean, I'll probably talk about down the line, but those are what we're learning from it. So intentionality is like the highlight, of how we've come a long way, in 23 years of friendship.
Okay, thank you for that. There's something that I know that people usually say, and even they say that to me when we are at work. Maybe they're talking to me in whatever professional capacity that I'm functioning in at the time. And it is tied to people saying that friendship in adulthood is hard, and people are looking for loyal friends, faithful friends, and then sometimes the seasons happening in people's lives. So I'm a regular person on Threads. I like Threads, the other one of Instagram. A lot of people write stories there. I think Threads really would be for writers and readers, and a lot of writers and readers are on Threads, and they write and read real time. Like Shonda Rhimes, the celebrities are there, Oprah is there, like people, Miss Rachel for babies, that lady who does stuff for babies. So many cool people are there, and people say things like, as I yesterday I saw someone say when she had cancer that she lost a lot of friends, that she would have thought that she was going to get friends or get more friends, but that she lost a lot of friends. And then people came out to say, oh yeah, that the most difficult times in your life are the times where you would know who your friends are, whether you're ill or you're getting married or you lost a job or you got a job. Like especially the most difficult times, it's the same thing they say for married people. So I'm in the medical space. Abroad, behavioral health is seen as medical. So like when I went to Yale, behavioral health, mental health is under medical. In the military also, behavioral health is under medical. So I technically work at the clinic, as a medical, professional and all. And at the clinic, when people are diagnosed with cancer or terminal illnesses, especially women, the same day they receive their diagnosis, they inform them that there's a tendency your spouse would leave you. And when I say spouse, it is me trying to pretend. It is really there's a tendency your husband will leave you, because it is at that point that many men say to you that, oh, they didn't sign up for this part because they are not ready to be a carer or the nanny or the caregiver or whatever. And it happens also in friendship. I'll give you a good example. When people have conversations and tell me that, oh, what will people say? What will people say? What will people say? A question that I ask them is, these people that you're talking about, that what would they say? What would they say? What would they say? If you needed kidney or you need a kidney today, would they give you? They tell me no. Then I say, if you died today, would they fly down from anywhere to attend your funeral? They will most likely say no. And then I say, if they also died, would you be in their will? They will most likely say no. Then I say to them, okay, so what exactly is going on? Because you are not as important to them as you
Yeah.
think you are. People can like the idea of you, they can even like you, to be fair, but then are they going to sacrifice? It's another ball game entirely. So I want us to talk about intentionality in friendship, because I've noticed that many people want villages but they don't want to be the village. And I'll give you a good example with myself. I am someone that people like to meet me when they are at the lowest point of their lives. So people want me to be in their life when they are at the lowest point of their lives, and it's not that they want me to be in their life as a professional, no, as a human being.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're not paying for my service. No, they're not paying for my service. They just think that by the virtue of the fact that life is dealing with them, I should be there for them. And automatically they choose me as a friend.
At that
But
point,
yeah, at that point, but they don't think that I should also choose them as a friend. It's also almost like when a guy says that I like you, he's not asking you if you also like him. He just feels the fact that he likes you is enough for you to say yes, that you should be happy that he likes you, and his likeness is enough for the relationship. Because many of them, so let me ask you now, when a guy comes to ask you out, has any guy asked you, after asking you out, to say, oh, I'm interested in you, this and that, and now say, are you interested in me?
I thought that was like standard, right? I mean, I think so.
That is the assumption. Because let me give you a good example.
Yeah.
Sometime this year, I was talking to a gentleman, normal human being, and then he was telling me that, oh, that you're so pretty, even without makeup, this and that, that if we, so he gave an example. He said, if we were dating, we'll just be having sex. Like, he just said it. Like, he allowed his intrusive thoughts to win. And then I went ahead to say, oh, really? Why? He was like, because I'm very attracted to you. And I responded and said, so because you are attracted to me, you have automatically assumed that I will have sex with you. Have you asked me if I am attracted to you? And then he looked so lost. He kept quiet and he was like, so I don't like him. I said, what? I said, what you just told me now is that because you are attracted to me, we'll be having sex. Then I am asking that, how come you think your attraction is enough for me to sleep with you? What about my own attraction?
Yeah.
It never occurred to him. It was just a given in his head that since he is attracted to me, that's enough.
Maybe hot boy syndrome. I'm just saying.
Maybe what?
Maybe hot boy syndrome.
I don't know. But I could see that he was shocked. And then later on, he was like, he didn't know that I didn't find him attractive. I said I didn't even say anything in that direction. All I said was, you didn't ask if I was attracted to you. You just assumed that because you are attracted to me, sex was an option. Like, you did not consciously say to yourself that for me to want to have sex with you, my attraction must actually be higher. Because if I don't consent, it is not sex, it becomes rape. So you can see that on the scale of things, I hold the key. Because if it tilts a little, you are going to jail. Yeah, we live in that kind of country. Do you understand? So I said all of that to say that in friendships, we need to talk about the intentionality. The fact that everyone involved in that friendship need to feel seen, heard, and understood. Because I've seen also examples where people say, oh, my friend stopped being my friend or whatever when they got married.
Yeah.
And then I understand that seasons change. But what is funny is, if the marriage doesn't work, they expect that single friend to accept them.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I'm wondering that, you just think that you can go and come and go and come. So let's talk about intentionality in friendship. What do you think that we must do if somebody is important to you?
Okay. So, I was saying at the beginning that I'm starting to see a lot of similarity between
The audio is audioing again.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not so sure what the issue is, because I can hear you clearly actually. Okay,
When you move into the camera or something, we hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was saying at the beginning that I've seen a lot of similarities between romantic relationships and friendship over the years. And I was trying to break down what I mean by that. Yeah. So I think a lot of times we place a lot of importance and more importance on romantic relationships and effort, as a matter of fact. While we're seeing that friendship is vibes, right? Friendship is just happen, right? So it's like when you meet a guy, or even when a guy meets a lady, yeah, there's a lot of effort that both of them put into that relationship, put into even sometimes the attraction, right? Because you feel like, oh, butterflies in my tummy, but maybe the butterflies in the bed tomorrow. So I need to do certain things to like keep the tempo or momentum. But we don't do that in friendship, right? So friendship just comes a bit natural to us, and we don't invest. So, and I'll give you an example: love languages, right? So we heard about love languages when we were much younger, and how this is so important to romantic relationships. And interestingly, when you look at man-woman relationship, love languages are so critical, because the way that a woman would accept or receive love is different from the way a man would accept or receive love. And like we say in those relationships, it's important that you speak the love language of your partner, right? Because you may love someone so much, but the way that you express that affection may not be understood or received by them. And so you then have a crisis, right? Because you feel that you're giving so much, and you're wondering, what else do you want me to give? Like, I do this, I do that for you, but you don't seem to appreciate it. And then sometimes when a woman says, oh, I don't love you, even though the guy is doing all of those things, then there's like a mismatch. So I think it's the same thing with the platonic friendships, right? So over the years, one of the things I personally learned, and to be honest, I actually learned some of that in friendship with you, to be very honest. Because for me, and I'll give you a very interesting example. So I'm that friend that if you don't talk to me for years, maybe we've not spoken in the last, let me even use when we're in uni, right? You've not spoken with me in the last 10 years, and then you just show up at my door, or you give me a call. You don't even need to say a lot, to be honest. Just say, so yeah, what's up now? Have you been? I'm fine. Oh, so yeah, I need help with XYZ. I'll do it. As long as that thing is within my power. I don't take it personal, like, okay, people call me, hey, but they're here now, and then we just pick it off like nothing happened. But guess what? That's me, yeah? But that's not you, for example. For you, you value relationship, you value communication, and so over the years, I've had to learn that, well, I can't just go, like, look at Onyeko now. I can't just go without talking to you for like a year, and then I just show up at your door and say, hey, babe, what's up now? And yeah, you understand? So, and when I speak with other women, because I remember speaking with someone a while ago as well, and then when I told her, I said, oh, see, I'm not very good with this thing called friendship, so, because I might just disappear. And she said, if you disappear on me, just go for life. Don't even bother.
Finally!
Finally! She just said, if you just disappear on me, Toyin, don't go for life, because you won't come back to me the friendship, right? But what am I trying to say? The way that I understand friendship, the way that I receive affection in friendship, must be different from the way you understand affection. So even in terms of the love languages, right? Those things you say about quality time, maybe except people touch, right? People touch sometimes, but gifts, words of affirmation. Those things also matter in friendship, and you also need to put it there. So we talk about emotional bank accounts, and I think this is the problem. So sometimes people just show up in your life and they want to draw from an account that is empty, from an account they didn't put anything into, right? So I've also learned that in friendships, I need to water the other side. Yeah. So it's not enough that I think, oh, this garden looks so beautiful. Somebody's doing the work. So I also need to do the work in that friendship so that I can, when I come to you to make a withdrawal, you have something to give to me without resentment. So I think for me, like I said, like we do romantic relationships, I think generally, I don't know if it's a women's thing, and I think women try with friendship to be fair. I think a lot of times we don't treat our friendships the way that we treat our romantic relationships. And as we grow older, I'm seeing that the way that we treat romantic relationships, we need to wear a similar hat in terms of the way that we treat friendships. Otherwise, you will find out that you're disconnected from people. You will find out that when you need people to show up for you, they're not there. You will find out that there's no emotional bank account. You have an overly depleted, in fact, you have a negative emotional bank account, with the people that you call friends. So I think that's for me one of the things that I've learned, over the
Excellent, thank you. While you were talking, something occurred to me. You said that friendship and romantic relationship have similar things, and then that usually people pay more attention to romantic relationship. I actually think that it is women who pay more attention. It is women who are devoted to relationships, because if you notice, men have friends outside of their marriages. They have male friends, they play football, they play PS5. In fact, it was sometime last year that I found out that you really cannot play PS5 alone, that the games are limited, that you have to play with friends. I was in shock. And how did I know? I'd gone to a friend's house, the friend in, Dallas here. He was playing. I was talking to his wife, who is also my friend, and then he was playing PS5, but he was talking. But I didn't notice he wasn't talking to us. So me, I was now confused. He's talking alone. What is going on? So I asked the wife that, is he on phone? She now said no, that he's playing a game. And I said, but his football is playing, or that boy is talking. She now said, that he's playing with his friends. And I said, oh, okay. They play PS5 with friends. She now said, that you have to play PS5 with friends. So I now remembered what my nephew said to me. So every time I give my nephew money, he says he buys games. And I didn't understand. He's a teenager. He's 14 now. I didn't understand what that meant. But he will always tell me he bought one game. He was playing a game with his friend. It was a game. I'm like, But I didn't act like I was bothered. But then when they now told me that he plays PS5 with friends, and then that they have a subscription fee. It's not even free. That damn PS5 is expensive. And then you now pay to play. I don't know if you are hearing me.
Clearly.
You pay to play, and then it's just very funny. But it made me understand that it is women who are male centered. Men are not female centered. They are not women centered. No, it is women who, when they get into relationships or marriages, who try to clear out other friends, because according to them, they have achieved something, which is fine. But men don't reason like that. Men have friends. They play football, they play PS5, they hang out, they go to range. I'm in the US, so we have shooting range. They go to range too. Men have a vibrant life. Like, they hang out at clubs for the ones who go to clubs. They go out. World Cup, all those things. But it is women who shut down the other areas of their lives, like they've been waiting for that to happen. Do you understand? Like, imagine you having a friend for years and then you relocate or you get married. Do you understand? And then all of a sudden you switch and then you say, the season has changed. It's okay. But I hope that if something goes wrong in that season, You are not going to be expecting those friends that you abandoned when your season changed to show up for you. Because that is where I draw the line. You cannot relocate, you cannot get married, you cannot get into a season in your life and the other people who contributed to that season. Because guess what? Those friends were at your wedding. They most likely spent money to be there. And then wedding is beginning to look like an investment now. They be doing millions for Ashwebi. You must not even divorce except you want to give us our money back. Yeah. You are no longer permitted to divorce with the way you people are doing Ashwebi now. I'm telling you. Yeah. People pay millions to be there. People actually fly to different locations to be at people's events. And then you now say, one season came in your own life, and then you now say, every other friend in your life is now against your progress or achievement. But when something now happens, because guess what? People lose their spouses.
They do.
Are you expecting those friends that you switched up on to come back? People lose children.
Yeah.
Like life happens. That's the part I don't get. That no. I'm not somebody you are going to switch on and then think that, because I'm the emotions doctor, I should now forgive you and reconcile. My dear, I can't look away. I'm gone. No. Those people that were in your life when you were switching, I need them to stay there. Because now you want to place a demand on me, for example, as a pastor to pray for you. You want to place a demand on my finances. You want to place a demand on my emotions? No. Why are you doing all this? No. Go. Once you go, disappear. It is only God that you can go and come and meet. You know me, I've told you. Once you switch on me as you are led. Because guess what? Tony, I have seasons in my life. I relocated. I can as well tell you that because of the time difference, I don't give a damn about our friendship and use the time difference as an excuse. I can also tell you that when I went to the military and I was not on grid for about 9 months, I created a WhatsApp group for my friends. Were you not there? Before I went for military grid that I knew I was going to be on the field for 9 months, I created a WhatsApp group. I told everybody I would not be available in the first 3 months. I have no access to my phone. Yeah. But if I ever have access to my phone, I would drop a word here. And I created a WhatsApp group because I couldn't reach everybody. Meaning, I would just drop a message here. I'm alive and I'm well. I have had seasons in my life that I could have gone off grid. I could have said, we're no longer compatible. Sometimes I'm speaking English to sound deep. But if I remained intentional, then I don't know whose season, because I'll give you a good example. I had someone who was my friend. We're no longer friends because I had a conversation and I was like, nah, I think this is cool. Let's just be fine. Now, the person had gotten married, all of those things, and she went off the grid. And it was understandable because the season has changed, which I don't have a problem with. Then the season changed again. And then this person got separated and was going through a divorce. And they sent me a message that, I really need you now, this and that. And I'm like, no, you are going to go get a therapist that you are going to pay. No.
So let me say something. So you mentioned something that I think is very important, and it's a critical factor when it comes to this issue of adult friendship, which is life stage. Yeah. People go through different life stages, and each of these life stages places different demands on them. And I'm not trying to make, of course, me, I'm always like the devil's advocate, right?
No.
Wait.
You know, I will listen, but you know something about me now, that I will listen to you, I would understand you, but I don't have to agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, and that's fine, and that's okay. So, because different life stages place different demands on people, and this demands impact on people differently. And I'll use marriage as an example, right? So people get married, apart from the fact that we're in a patriarchal society where people feel that, once you get married, you're not above, you're above everybody else, like you have arrived, you have succeeded, So apart from that one, you also have situations where because people have not been married before, marriage takes its own toll, right? You have a demanding husband. And you know the funny thing, people get into this is what we see these days, people get into different things in this thing called marriage, right? So there's pressure, trying to get to understand the husband, and then people they start to have their kids almost immediately. These things, take a mental toll, and sometimes when they distance themselves, it's not necessarily because they want to. It's just that the pressure is so heightened for them, and all of that. And that time when you think that they come back, it's not because they felt you were unimportant. It's just like, at that point they could see roads. Before, everywhere is blocked. You understand? But now, everywhere is now clear. I can see, maybe there's a divorce or maybe there's a separation, and then they come around as well. So, I mean, I think that's one of the hardest things when it comes to friendships, right?
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
The question would be, while they were married and they had a blurry vision, who were their friends?
Now, very interesting. The problem, I think, and this is particularly for women, and I agree with you, right? I feel that men, it's interesting.
Because while you are married and you have a blurry vision, so let me say, for example, we haven't spoken in 5 years since someone got married or something, just an example. So that means in 5 years, you didn't check up on me, nothing. I usually would be the one who checks up on people. You know me pretty well. I would always reach out. If you're my friend, I'll reach out no matter where I am. That's it, because I have a calendar, I do whatever. And I don't reach out because I like to reach out. For example, I don't like phone calls.
Yeah.
I don't like phone calls. If you're not my friend, I don't jump on the call with you. Yeah. People don't like me for that. I've offended people for that, and I'm not sorry about it. I don't like phone calls. But I speak to my friends for 5-6 hours. You know the reason why? Because friendship is sacrifice.
It is.
When it is my friend, I come last. I put my friend forward. This person who got married, I was her MC. The event was not even somewhere where both of us were living. We flew there. The MC was free, the logistics, everything, I paid. That's the list of what I can do as a friend. And then I show up, whatever, and then after that I didn't hear anything, and it's fine. You're acclimatizing all of those things. But then, let's say for 5 years, nothing. So obviously in the 5 years, you had friends. Yeah. So with the blurry vision, you had friends. I was just not the friend, which is fine. The part people must take responsibility for is to accept that you abandon people. Let's stop hiding under business. I can afford to abandon people now because I don't even live in Nigeria. I can claim distance. I can claim a change of citizenship. I can claim a change of professional relationship. I can claim, we're not intellectually at the same level, we're not financially at the same level. All of those things that sound deep, that are really not nonsense. I can say those things. I don't say them. So in the 5 years that you had blurry vision, which I agree with, you had friends. But somehow, during your highest moment, I was not your friend. But then, in your lowest moment, you want to switch back? No, I'm not that kind of person. If I am not there during high, don't drag me in the low. I am not the one who picks up pieces. No, I do that as my job because I get paid for that. But in life, I don't pick up pieces for people. And once you get well, you disappear. No, that's
so
disrespectful to me as a human being. Because now, I told you that I had a conversation with the person as usual. I don't work out on people. I tell you, I don't ghost. I don't know. Yeah, I had a conversation, and I'm like, we haven't spoken for this long. Where are your friends?
That's a deep question, by the way.
Like we haven't spoken for 5 years. I was the one you weren't speaking to. You were obviously speaking to other people. So it wasn't that you were deaf and dumb. Yeah, I was the one you didn't speak to. Fine. But I'm wondering what made you remember me. Where are the other people you were speaking to? And then she was like, oh, yeah, this and that. And I'm like, no, you know me too well. So I'm wondering why you are doing this thing. No, you don't. So in 5 years, you didn't even know whether I died or not. You didn't know whether I survived COVID or not. You didn't care. You didn't know how I was doing abroad or not. Like, you didn't give a damn. But then you picked your call because in your mind, you know what she told me? She said to herself that if there's anybody who will be kind to me, it will be Oyinkan. I said, yeah, but you know that I'm not nice. I'm just a kind person. And I don't let people take me for granted. You know, I don't hide it. I said, so you did all of that because at the back of your mind, I will always be there. I said, no, that's very rude. So you don't care what happens to me as a human being. I offered the help that I could, but I didn't offer from a place of sacrifice. It was a place of convenience. I still showed up like a Christian that I am. But I just said, I'm not interested in friendship with you again. I would offer this help as a human being. But friendship, whatever, no. The people you were talking to at that point, I need them there.
Yeah, I think when you talk, and this is a very interesting thing, you know, particularly for women, you know, because what happens like when you're talking about the men, the man gets married and he will still go and watch football with the boys.
They don't even leave their friends under the guise of, oh, you are single, our season has changed.
They don't. Men don't do that. So he will still go out clubbing with the boys. He will go out golfing with the boys or doing whatever with the boys. And you know the funny thing, men hold those moments sacred.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think somehow, I think for women, so why I thought is, okay, when I wanted to say that earlier, I was also checking the fact that, well, women sort of build deeper communities. So, you know, but just that I think what happens is women also need to understand the fact that you see, romantic, and I've been meditating on this for a while. Maybe that's why I keep referencing romantic relationships, right?
To fall in love. Continue.
So romantic
I can't look away.
I know. So romantic relationships are very important. But I think what we need to understand is that friendships, platonic friendships, are, I don't want to say maybe equally as important, but honestly, they are also very important and they're two different things. So I think people don't get the fact that, you know, I think a lot of times we put our romantic relationships over and above our friendship. But the matter is, you know, friendship is different. So romantic relationship or partner is different. And there are two different people serving two different purposes in your life. Now, that person you asked that question about, okay, where are the people who were your friends over the years? I think what happens is that, like I said, life stage. And this is also what makes adulthood very complex. It's very, very complex. So when people, let me use the marriage thing, for example, right? So people get married, or maybe even relocate and all of that. You meet new people. You meet new people. But you know, the difference is that your childhood friendships are they're selfless friendships. So you people became friends. You didn't have an expectation. Think about it. When people were kids, right? You became friends with this person. There was zero expectation. You just you liked each other. You know, you didn't like the idea of that person. You knew the damnedest thing about this person. That you liked them. You showed up for them, right? But as people then grow older, interestingly, it's different. So the people you meet along the journey, they come into your life for different reasons. And you know, it's interesting that people come to your life with objectives, right? So your adult friendships are actually quite objective based. So for example, people are friends with you now. People will become friends with you for different reasons. You will find a few that just want to be friends with you because you are unequal. But some people want to be friends with you. Maybe you're an emotional doctor. They feel that, okay, I'm at a stage in my life where this person can be there for me, can play an emotional whatever in my life. So I think adult friendships have. Okay, let me say it like this. Math. That's it. Right? In adult friendships, there are so many maths. People wear math. In childhood friendships, there's no math. You know, everybody shows up exactly as they are. But in adult friendship, people mask a lot of things such that you're not able to see the core. People miss the core of the human. So I feel that people need to understand that, look, as you grow older, you will meet different people who will come into your life for different reasons. And that's why you probably get married. You will then have friends. Your husband's friends become your friends, right? The fellow married women people become your friends. Those people became your friends because of a situation, the situationship that led to the friendship, right? So, but you need to know that there has to be people in your life that can be there all through life seasons. I also acknowledge the fact that, you're about to say that 20 children can play for 20 years. I agree. But I've also come to realize that there are some friendships that you will hold for a lifetime. And when you see people who live very healthy life, and to be honest, irrespective of whether they are married, whether they stayed married, whether they are divorced, when you see people who have maintained very stable emotional balance over the years, one of the things you will find that is very stable is the friendship. You know why? Because even sometimes in marriages, sometimes for some people, marriages come and go, unfortunately. Friendships also come and go, but I feel that friendships, you guys have been through a lot more than even you and your spouse, unfortunately, right? They've seen phases and stages of you. They've evolved with you. Some of people you get to meet in adulthood are only seeing a version of you, right? People who have known you for a long time, they've seen different stages of you. They've evolved. They've also grown in how they love you. They've matured in how they communicate their love, how they express their love, how they just love you. I don't know how to put it. So I think overall what I'm saying is we need to understand that there is a place of romantic relationships and there is a place of your platonic friendship. And the platonic friendships are almost as important as a romantic relationship. And if you don't water them, because in this life you will meet different people at different life stages. But if you don't water those friendships, especially when you recognize, I think one of the things I've learned, even in my friendship with you, right? When you recognize that, look, one of the things I told myself years ago is, you can know a lot of people can know you, but you can't be friends with a lot of people. And that's the mistake some of us make, right? We have so many friends, but not even the right set of friends. You may say you have 20 friends, you're popular, but the question is, are there people in your corner who can hold you together when everything is falling apart? Yeah? Are there people in your corner that you can be naked and not ashamed with, right? People that you can be vulnerable with. Are there people in your corner that when life is dealing with blows, you can go to them, you can cry with them? A lot of adult friendships, people don't even do that. They're going through a rough patch, and they say this person is my friend. They can't even tell the person what they're experiencing. And that's not friendship. It's transactional situationships or relationships, as the case may be. So, yeah.
I totally agree with you. Another thing that I've observed is that many people know what they're doing. We're the ones who give excuses for them. I have come to see that people really know what they're doing. People are not as ignorant or stupid as we think they are. People really know what they're doing. It's the same way, for example, when a guy wants just sex from you, he knows that he needs to be performative and do some things to get the sex. And when a girl wants you just for money, she also knows how she needs to play her cards to get the money. People know what they're doing. So there are sometimes people come into friendship because they know that you are a good person with home training and you will hold them down. People also have selfish reasons why they want to be your friend. People can be around you for network. I remember this lady said one day, DJ Copy, that people come around her, she thinks she has friends, and then one day they pull out this sticker of introduce me to your dad.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it happens every time with people, where people come around you. It's a matter of time for you to now know why they are there. So for someone like me, people come around me just because they think that, oh, she's a good person, she will hold me down. Not because they like me. And I cannot pretend that I don't know. Like, that's why I study human behavior. And when I know, it doesn't make them bad people. No. It just simply means that I must have enough self-respect for myself to excuse myself. I do not despise you. I don't feel anything against you. I must just respect myself. Like, why am I in a relationship or a friendship that it's obvious that you are there for what you will get from me? When something is wrong with you, I fly out to meet you. When you need me, I show up, I fly out to meet you. So let me give you a good example. I asked the person, I said, we have been friends for at least 10 years, and you know what I have done for you. Tell me why you think that I should remain in this friendship. Like, just remind me of those days or those things that you did, or remind me of how you showed up for me or liked me, just in case I am wrong. She couldn't say anything. This person, when she was 40, I flew to her country for her birthday. In fact, I was supposed to have a training. I reorganized that training to the point where I still showed up in her country. It was freaking cold. That's why I live in Dallas, Texas. I don't like cold. I showed up in her country, wherever, on my 40th. She couldn't even call me. She sent me a message. She couldn't pick up her phone to call me. I didn't say fly to the US. You know me, I flew to her own country. I didn't even say fly. The finances are different, so I didn't even say fly. No, it's not. She could not pick her phone to call me. When we had the conversation, she told me that she was so much in a funk. All she could send to me was a WhatsApp message. And it wasn't the first time. Do you know what it is for me to board a plane and fly down because it's your 40th? I could have died in a crash. People die in plane crashes. My mother's only brother died in a plane crash. So it's not as if, oh, I'm not aware. I flew. And then you sent me a WhatsApp message and said, oh, you were going through a funk. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine. They are like, oh, you're so sorry, this and that. You're going to be a better friend. I'm like, yeah, be a better friend, but not for me, because I'm out. And then you're now saying I shouldn't be out. Why? Of course, I know why. Because I am the friend who holds you down. I said, in this kind of economy, you have friends that are flying to come and see you. In this economy that even billionaires are angry. So, in my opinion, I know that people know what they're doing. Because when I asked her, I was ready to be wrong. I said, maybe I'm not judging this well. Since we met 10 years ago, please tell me why you think I should still be here as a friend. You can't even call me on my birthday, not to talk of giving me a gift. I flew to your birthday party. I even came with a gift. I didn't even present myself. I didn't say my presence is the gift. I didn't say so. I could have. I still came with a gift. You couldn't even call me. And then you're here saying, oh, you will change. I said, I don't mind you changing. Change for the next friend, but I am out. This is not the kind of experience I desire to have as a friend. I have what I desire and what I deserve. If it's below it, I'm out. And this is not a one-time thing. This is something you have done consistently. And then you come back and say, oh, you are sorry, you are in a funk. And I'm like, are you the only one with funk? Despite all of this funk, you are still having an orgasm. I'm not even having one. So I'm even now wondering that, okay, despite this funk, you are evacuating and exhaling. No, I'm telling you. I'm like, with all of this funk, you still have orgasms in between. I should be the wicked one. I should be the witch. But here I am, still the one who is not having the orgasm showing up for the one experiencing it. I'm like, nah, I deserve way better, way better than this.
But can I say something? You
Please
know,
go ahead.
I feel that looking at what we've discussed so far, what you're just saying now,
Mm-hmm.
maybe what makes adulthood friendship more difficult is that adults place demand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, adults place demand. Yeah, because what happens is that everybody has needs. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
has needs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When we were kids, yeah, you could just friendship as kids. It didn't
Mm.
matter how you showed up. Nobody really
Mm-hmm.
cared. But I think the older you get, the clearer. And I usually say this, even for romantic relationships as well, that the older you get, the clearer you become generally as a human being, right? You realize what you want, you realize what you don't want, you realize where
Mm.
you're going to, you realize what will serve you, you realize what will not serve you, you realize what is draining you, what is taking out from you realize that, okay, this thing is drawing more than it's giving. You become so clear. And it's the same thing,
Mm.
I think, even for friendship, right? Because we're human beings. Human beings have needs, right? We all have
Mm.
needs. And I think that somehow when we get into friendships, whether deliberately or not, especially in adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
When we're kids, sometimes you just become friends with someone. No, I just like her. We just vibe. We're cool. We talk. But I think in adulthood, human beings gravitate towards one another, and there's
Mm-hmm.
something that your soul is searching for, whether
Mm.
consciously or unconsciously. Yeah, there's just something that the soul is searching for, right? And so, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not so sure if you can hear me or if you're still on.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Yes.
I messed up something. Yeah,
Yeah, I
please
feel
go
that.
ahead.
So I was saying that I feel that, in adulthood, there is
Mm-hmm.
a lot that your soul, not even just your physical body, there's a lot that your soul is yearning for. And
Mm.
that soul search is looking for something. Yeah, it's looking for something to fill a void, right? And
Mm.
so in adult friendships, people are placing specific demands. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why you can, in childhood relationships, you can get away with a lot. But as people
Mm.
get older, they want you to show up a certain way in their
Mm-hmm.
lives, right? And
Mm.
when you don't show up that way, something else takes your place, unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you rightly said, this person, okay, the 5 years you were talking to other people. So while you
Mm-hmm.
were gone, something else took that place. Maybe it could be another friendship, it could be whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think that the more we talk about this, I feel what makes adult relationships or friendships really difficult is the fact that adults now place demand. They place
Mm.
demand on their time, they place
Mm-hmm.
demand on their emotion, they place demand on even reciprocity, right? So
Mm-hmm.
people no
Mm-hmm.
longer excuse your tackiness, right? Or
Mm.
tardiness.
Mm-hmm.
People say to you, oh, look, if I'm going to do this for you, then I have
Mm-hmm.
to. And I give an example. I was talking to a friend a while ago, and she's going through a tough time and all of that. And then she's saying to me,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm in this phase of my life. I've showed up for people over the years, and then I'm in my own season, my own phase, my own stage,
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
all of those people are nowhere to be found, right?
Mm.
And that kind of person, for example, subsequent friendships you will look at from a totally different lens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you will look
Mm-hmm.
at, so, but this person is demanding. They're demanding because, like I said, their soul is yearning for something. And it's like when
Mm-hmm.
you find soulmate, even
Mm-hmm.
in love, right? Because when it comes to romantic stuff, you're searching
Mm-hmm.
for something, and when you find it, you connect, you click.
Mm-hmm.
But more
Mm-hmm.
importantly, you need to water it. That's why I keep on saying that. Look, we need to treat our friendships and give them the kind of attention, maybe not the same, but maybe a bit similar attention to the attention we pay to romantic relationships.
I totally agree with you. I messed up something. I acted possessed, and I was trying to adjust something that I wasn't supposed to touch. I messed it up, but yeah. So I finally got myself back. I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have
Well,
acted
I can't see
possessed.
your video, by the way, so I'm not so sure if you fixed that. I can only hear you. I can't see you.
Yeah. So I am trying to.
Oh yeah, I can see you now.
Yeah, I acted possessed.
It's okay.
So what I wanted to do that backfired was that I noticed that they weren't seeing, they couldn't hear me on what's it called, on TikTok. So I was trying to adjust whatever, and I totally forgot whatever that I was doing. And it was when it went blur that I'm like, what did I just do? But it is what it is. So yes, I agree with you. I think that one of the things that we must learn in adulthood is intentionality,
Yeah.
because I've seen so many ways in which people say that they want a village, but the silent part they do not say is that they are not willing to do the work to be a villager. They want a village that can be there for them, but they are not ready to be the villager. That's the silent part. Many people are wired to take.
Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally.
And if you are a giver, you are the one who must know
Yeah.
what the boundaries have to be.
Yeah.
People want villages. That's the reason why they want to reach out to you anytime.
Yeah.
Like if you don't check up on me for 3 years and then you just reach out and then you now want to say that I'm important to you, I don't know, but it just doesn't make sense to me, because Tony, in 3 years people die. The people I don't talk to are people who are not important to me. You know me too well. There's no friend that I don't talk to at least once in 3 months. And that means we're even acquaintances. People are just so comfortable saying, oh, maybe many people use the word friendship loosely also. A part of me feels like
Yeah.
maybe they're not
Yes,
friends.
yes,
I think
yes,
maybe they're acquaintances. I
Yeah.
think that's the reason why, they can talk to themselves when they want. Because I find it difficult to say that I haven't spoken to somebody in 5 years and then I just take my sweet soul there and I'm like, oh, can we pick up from where we left off from? Are you aware that that person you knew 5 years ago is not who I am today? I can't even remember who I was 5 years ago. That's the reason why it doesn't make sense to me. I cannot remember who I was 5 years ago. I am growing, I am developing, I am changing. I cannot remember. And then, if the last time I spoke to you was 5 years ago, you would have changed also. So a part of me feels like we then need to restart the friendship, because what if your values have changed? Just imagine somebody saying because we were friends in Nigeria or something, they are in Dallas, they want to come and pass the night in my house. Do you understand? No. What if you have become a badly behaved person? So it is the reason why I don't understand that 5 years went no hello hi, except we were classmates, we didn't rock and roll. If we're classmates and all those things, I can get it. But no, I think people use the word friendship loosely, but I think that they remember friendship when they need it. Yeah. I think they remember friendship when they need it. Because if you really look at it, when people are at their lowest, for example, life is dealing with someone, that's when they genuinely reach out. And then you're now wondering that, okay, the last time you reached out before this time, life was dealing with you. The last time you reached out before this time, life was dealing with you. At what point are you going to learn how to build a relationship?
Yeah.
Our conversations cannot be when life is dealing with you and what you want to do is trauma dump. That's what it's called. You cannot be reaching out to people every time you are at your lowest. And then you now expect them to think that it's a honor that you reached out. No. What should I do with that honor? No, it's not a honor that you reached out. If every conversation... So let me make it practical, just like you said. Just imagine your husband always reaching out to you only when he wants sex. That's That's how it is. There's no way you are going to feel loved in that relationship.
Sure.
No matter how he tries to explain it. And you and I know how many marriages have been destroyed because of what I just said. That women felt that the only time the man was romantic or was kind or was whatever was when he needed sex. That's how it is in friendship. Thankfully, you gave that analogy. That's how it is. So if you're always reaching out only when you need something, that's not friendship. That's a transaction right there. And somebody who has self-awareness must know. Friendship is saying everything and anything and nothing. Nothing. Friendship comes with no agenda. It's you talking from beginning to the end and not even remembering what you said. Friendship is both of you being on the phone and saying absolutely nothing, but are you still there? Friendship comes with everybody removing their mask. Friendship comes with, I know what is happening to you. I was watching Oprah talk about 3 of our closest friends, including Gail, and she was saying that sometimes we're on the phone for 6-7 hours, saying everything and nothing. Like, I know everything going on in our house. Like, people want to be friends that they can touch base with and get something from. But when it's time to now do the work, it's like relationship gongo.
Yeah.
When it's time to now do the work, excuses will now be coming. Oh, I'm in a season of my life. Me, I don't have season. Even people who are in school doing PhD, we still have time. But everybody wants to say, oh, they are in seasons of their life, they are in seasons of their life. That's fine. Now that you are in the season of your life, leave me alone. That's the problem. And then another thing that I see that is one of the reasons why people have issues in their friendship in adulthood is competition.
Yeah.
That's a crazy ass thing. And I will say that personally, I have lost friends because of that. Because at a certain point, it became a battle of who was wiser, who was the most successful, who was this, who was that. And after a while, I just said to myself, I don't know what's going on. It must be childhood issues everywhere. But let me also go sit down with myself and ask myself questions so that I can take responsibility for the part that I played there. But if you're listening today and you have friends or whatever is happening in your friendship, I need to ask you a question, which is, what part of, no, the question I want to ask is, sit with yourself where nobody is hearing you and genuinely ask yourself if you are jealous or envious of your friend. Because sometimes people are. Even twin brothers can be jealous, twin sisters, friends, even parents can be jealous of their children. You know, and you must be able to sit with that to say that, am I envious or jealous of this person? And if you are, what are you going to do about it? Because any friendship with competition will land everybody in hell. Even siblings are jealous. That's the reason why sometimes some people hide the progress happening in their lives from their siblings. You can't even tell your sibling your salary because they will plan it, how to spend it. Yeah. Like, it's that tiny, they will plan how to spend it and they will just do stuff. You know, so please talk about competition in friendship, because I know that that is one thing both of us do not have in our friendship, you know, which is,
Yeah.
both of us don't care about anything. Because I've had friendship where people cared about things that I didn't even know that were important, you know, about, oh, who was older, who was this, who was that. And every point in time, I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. This is beginning to look to like African magic. You know, when you're in an African magic family or friendship, or I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be having conversations where I do not feel psychologically safe. Psychological safety is important to me in friendship. And it also means that it is not everybody I want to hear from. You know, I've told you something before, that because somebody is my friend does not mean that they should tell me what they think that they need to tell me. For example, if you want to advise me or something, it's okay to ask that, is it okay to give you feedback? Like, I don't have a problem, but I don't think that you should just wake up one day and be dumping feedback on your friend every time because you think you are friends. Because one thing I've observed about that feedback mechanism that people do is, in my experience, people would give feedback, and I would accept it. When I now want to give them feedback, they are angry. I'm now wondering, I thought that we are giving each other feedback. Yeah, because sometimes people want you to accept their feedback or their correction under the guise of, oh, we are friends, I should be able to tell you the truth. Fine. And I agree. Then, when I now want to tell you the truth, you are now angry. Why are you upset? Because you shouldn't be the only one with the right to share the truth when we're giving feedback. Because if you think that you're the only one who should be giving people feedback, then it comes from a place of superiority complex. Yeah, it comes from a place where you think that you are wiser or you know more, so they should listen to you. That's no longer friendship. That's some authoritarianism going on there. Yeah, and if you're not careful, condescension will step in. Because if it is feedback, while we're talking about what perspective that you have or what you think is going on, I should also be able to say what's on my mind. But if I cannot say what's on my mind and you always have to say what's on your mind, then that's not friendship. So, because I've seen those kind of things and I'm like, nah. And sometimes feedback can also be resentment, because I have seen some people who are envious of you as a friend, and then they will now put that their feedback as a decoy, but it is resentment, and it can come from a place of envy or jealousy. Because I've seen it before. You've told me before where somebody told you something on campus.
Yeah.
And 10 years down the line, you occurred to you that she was a jealous freak. And whatever she disguised as feedback was a tool of control and manipulation. You see, that's the reason why I don't accept feedback from anybody because they want to talk. Because number one, if I don't like your life, don't advise me. Yeah. I don't advise people. That's why people pay me. If you are not paying me for advice, I'm shutting up. Yeah, people need to shut up. If I don't pay you, no. If I don't like your life, don't advise me. Because when you advise me, you have taken that position of you thinking that because you said something, I should take it. The question I now want to ask is, what is making you think that you are a point of contact to me in any area of your life? Because I'm confused. You know how an average married person wants to talk to singles? Singles, listen. Singles, let me tell you something. No, madam, your husband is on the street. We see him. He's committing adultery. We can see your husband. It's not your marriage is not a point of contact. And you will be saying singles. And there are some people who mean well, but I'm talking about people who don't mean well. There are some people, married people, who mean well and give sense. But there are some people who speak from a place of condescension at singles. And then you begin to say to yourself that madam, we don't like what you are doing. Don't do it. Please stop it. Please, we can't look away. Stop it. And if I can't take advice from you, don't even criticize me. Like, I have a challenge with, I think it's Nigerians who do it, where people just give you unsolicited feedback.
Yeah, unsolicited feedback, yeah.
Or unsolicited advice. Why?
We are kings of that, man.
Why do we do it? Why? I don't do it.
Bad behavior. Bad behavior.
And then they make it look like, because they want to say something, you must listen. And I'm like, what is it about your life that you think that?
Some of it around here, some of it has to do with age. People just think they're older.
When they're older than you, they think that they are now wiser.
Yeah.
My dear, you are not even wise. We don't know how to tell you that you are retarded. Like you, like my dear, my darling, go and sit down, please. That's the reason why Gen Z used to disturb them. That's the reason why Gen Z. Did I send you something yesterday that I saw on TikTok where, you know, there's a proverb that says that you can't put water in a basket. Gen Z went to put nylon in the basket. They wrapped it. They wrapped the basket with nylon. Now poured water. It was full. I said Gen Z will kill elders. I'm telling you. You know, elders say you can't put water in a basket. Gen Z said, wait, hold my beer. They wrapped that basket with nylon. Now filled it, and it was full. They said, go and tell your elders we can put water in the basket. I said Gen Z will kill these people. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You know, so what do you think?
Okay, I think that three things, yeah. The first one, first on competition. And I'm just asking myself, I'm just talking about it like, yeah, why do we have this friendship where I'm not really bothered? I honestly very just about friendship with you generally, right? I'm not really bothered about what it is you're doing, you know, I mean, you know, how well you're advancing, you know, because I think some of it has to do with a lot of internal work. And I won't say I'm there yet, because I can't say to you that, oh, I'm never envious or I'm never jealous. So I don't think I can say that because I'm human. You know, one thing I know is that when I have those kind of emotions, I can go to say, no, I don't want this. This is not, I don't like this. Right? And so there's a conscious effort to say, you know, I don't want to feel this way. You know, someone is doing something, you know, and they're better at that thing than me. They're even succeeding. You know, they're way ahead of the curve than I am. I just want to be happy for them, and I want to be genuinely happy. So there's some part of that thing where it's the work of the Holy Spirit. You know, where God helps you. So sometimes you may desire to do better, but you just don't know how to, right? I think there's that one. Then of course another thing is that esteem, low self-esteem, yeah. A lot of people carry low self-esteem around. And sometimes people are very successful, sometimes they're older, sometimes they're seemingly wiser, you know, but when you really peel it, you know, when you peel everything to its essentials, you find out that there's a lot of insecurity that people have, right? So when you have insecurity, when you have low self-esteem, then it's very easy for this kind of thing to then get to you, because you're judging or measuring your life by another person. One of the things I have personally learned is that everybody's journey is not the same. I think that's where I've found my own peace. Yeah, to say that, look, it doesn't even matter even if I'm your older sister, or I'm your girlfriend, or I'm your wife, or I'm your mother. You know, we have totally different journeys, right? And I respect each person's journey. You know, so which means that your journeys will take you certain places that mine will not, right? Sometimes there'll be convergence, sometimes there's a lot of divergence. But the truth is, in the end, we're two different people. Even if we're doing the same business, we're competitors in the same industry, we're two different people, and God has a plan for each of us. And I just respect, I think I just respect that. That's the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing I also wanted to say is that I think when I listen to all of our conversations this night, one thing is clear. As adults, it's very important that maybe we need to sit down to ask ourselves, who are the people that I want to be long-term friends with? So over the years, maybe from childhood till now, we may, like you said, another thing is also to define who do we call friends? Because people are just probably acquaintances. You may know them, but you don't really know them, right? So I think there's a lot of that internationality. Part of it is then saying, look, who are those? And I've asked myself that question. Like, who are those I want to do the long haul with, right? Who are those people? And that your friends, when you think about it, maybe what you also need to do is to say to yourself, look, if life were to deal with me, right, in my toughest moments, who is that person I will go to? Identify those people in your life. Whether or not you're talking to them today, it doesn't really matter. But identify those people, because indeed, those are your friends. The reason why that person, after 5 years, they've made other friends. But when life hits them hard, they're so back to you. Maybe I'm telling you something that this is my friend. So ask yourself, don't let those signs come before you make a decision. Ask yourself, who do I want to do life with long term, right? Who do I want to entrust my life and my destiny and all of that, my journey to? If life slaps me hard, who am I going to go to? Find those people and go and cultivate the friendship. And that takes me to the last point that look, identify. It could be one person, it could be two, it could be three or four, but it's not a lot. Identify that small circle. We all need to have that small circle. It's not a big circle, right? Find that small circle, and the next thing is cultivate the relationship. So one of the things we all struggle with is maybe you have too many people you call friends, and you're trying to you're pouring yourself into so many cups, right? That's very hard. So find the 3 people, maybe 4 people that you say, these are people that I want to call friends, and I want to be there for them as much as I want to be there. And feel free to place a demand. Yeah, because even you yourself, right? You know that you're investing in that friendship, you're investing in that relationship. Put your best foot forward, support them, engage, be present, and just cultivate those relationships and watch them serve you for the rest of your life.
I agree with you. I think that when you also choose to be someone's friend, I think that it is important that you have a conversation about it. Because sometimes I think you can choose that I want to be lifelong friends with this person, and the person is not choosing that with you. And then the lack of expectation management comes in because you made a personal decision, they are not aware of your decision.
Very true.
And we can't hold them responsible for a decision you made solo. So something I usually say is when you find someone you want to be friends with, then you lock in with them. So I have a good example. I met someone on a job in Dallas here, and the first time we met, we just connected, cool person and all that. And after that, we used to talk as often as possible. She will call me, we'll have conversations. And I remember her saying that she's been trying to get a friend in Dallas, and she just likes me and would just want to be my friend. And I'm like, oh yeah, I like you too and all that. And she reached out and said, oh, let's hang out on a date. And I agreed, but we couldn't hang out on a date until the 4th time. She was busy. And every time we needed to hang out, she was busy, and I just told her to just take the day off, sleep, rest. It's no problem. Don't be under any pressure. We can always reschedule. And then we finally did, and then we hung out. Even the day we hung out, something still went wrong from my end, but it was still fine. We had a solid time, good time. There's another person that is my friend in Dallas, who I met when I moved in. First of all, got abroad, and I stayed in an Airbnb for 3 months. She also stayed in that Airbnb. It was a big house and all that. So she had her section, I had my section and all. And I was actually the one who would go to the dining, area to eat every time. And then she would come in there just with her phone, just say hello and sit. And then I asked her what was happening to her. She was like, oh, she just moved here from another state, this and that. And 4 years down the line, we're still friends. But I remember when she was leaving the Airbnb, she left before I left. A night before she left, she was like, oh, I would like to stay in contact with you and all that. And I was like, oh, I would like that too, And then we exchanged numbers. When she moved into an Airbnb, I moved into an apartment, and then I invited her over to my apartment. She will come around, then pass the night and go, all of those things. And she's one of my closest friends in Dallas. But I said that to say that nobody sprung the friendship on anyone. It was like a mutual agreement of, oh, I would like to be your friend, and both of us are in on it. And both of us know, like when I was at the military camp 2 years ago, and I had to be somewhere, I was at 2 different camps, but I was at a particular camp from June to October. She was coming to visit me once a month. She would drive down. It was a 5-hour drive. She would drive down for 5 hours, stay at a hotel, blah, blah, blah. And then she would come in on a Friday. She would leave on Sunday. She would stay at a hotel, all of those things. And she never asked me for money, even though I always sent money after she came. But she never asked me. So that means even if I never sent the money, she was going to use her money. She never for once asked me money. But I always took the financial responsibility because I didn't think that it was kind for her to drive for 10 hours and then still bear the financial cost. But I said all of that to say that she's been there for me. I've been there for her in her life, up and down, and all of those things. But it was mutual. So I think that now, in adult friendship, I think when we're interested in being someone's friend, we should not sneak in on them and just act like, oh, they will get it. So, for example, Oprah has a best friend called Gail, but she also has two other friends that she met at the same time she met Gail, and they've all been friends for 43 years. Gail is the best friend, but there are two others who weigh as much as they do in her life as Gail. But I said all of that to say that all of them are in the friendship together. They are there. In fact, there was one. Can you still hear me? Okay, I think whatever happened to me is happening to him, but it's cool. I think I was listening to Oprah and she said something about her and her friend, and one thing she said was on one of her birthdays. So Oprah is usually the one who would, plan birthdays for her friends, be there for them, show up for them, just pamper them and all that. She spoils people a lot. Her friends also try to do stuff for her, but she's usually the spoiler. So fast forward to one day, Oprah's friend said that she was trying to plan something for Oprah, but she didn't even know what Oprah wanted. So she had to be paying attention to check out whatever Oprah wanted. And a day before Oprah's birthday, Oprah sang a song, and the friend asked Oprah that, oh, whose song is that? And Oprah said, oh, there's this lady that she's always liked, blah, 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 like that. And she just hinted that she liked that lady. And Oprah said, man, the perfect birthday is for that lady to just be singing on my porch, and I'm sipping wine, I'm just enjoying myself. Her friend was there, and the friend said she found a way to reach the lady. The lady was like, oh, I'm not even where, I can come. And somewhere along the line, the friend said, I don't care what I have to do, but I will pay. But I need you to be here tomorrow to sing on Oprah's porch. And the person showed up. The next day was Oprah's birthday. She said she just started hearing music from her porch. And she was wondering who was playing or what was going on. And then she opened her door, and it was the lady. She was saying that it was just going to be the perfect birthday moment. She cried, she wept. She said it was just like a miracle for her, because that's genuinely all she wanted for her birthday. So I think that as we grow and mature in friendship and try to have better friendship in adulthood and everything that we're all trying to do, I think that we should hold forth for ourselves, hold forth for our friends. And when you find or see someone that you are interested in being friends with, I am of the opinion that you should let them know. Don't just expect that, oh, they will automatically know that you are interested in a lifelong relationship or friendship with them. No, friendship is in adulthood is demanding, and we cannot be acting like, oh, I like this girl, if I'm close to her enough she will know I like her. No, you have to speak, have conversations. Yes, you can just click, the chemistry can be there, this and that, but it is okay to also express yourself, and don't just wait for them to catch in or catch up on it. And also be careful about competition in friendship, because it's a very slippery slope. Yes, we all feel some sense of jealousy. Yes, we all feel some sense of envy. But like Tony said, one thing I think is important is we take our envy and jealousy to the feet of God, and we just say to God, reveal myself to me and heal my nervous system. It happens to the best of us. Reveal myself to me, heal my nervous system, show up for me. Whatever the prayer is, like reveal myself to me, show up for me. Just be whoever you need that I need to be. Heal my nervous system, regulate my nervous system. Finally, before we round off, is me saying that if you're someone who doesn't show up for your friends intentionally, but you expect them to show up for you, please stop it. It's not kind, it's wicked, it's mean. And that's the reason why some people are also becoming unavailable, and everybody is just feeling like, I'm going to shut down. Even kind people are saying, it's my time to receive, I'm no longer giving, because nobody wants to be taken for granted. Nobody wants to be used. Nobody wants to feel like they are not cared for. If you care for your friend, let them see the care, let them feel the care, let them taste the care. Be there for them. Don't say, oh yeah, we haven't spoken in 10 years, but we can always do this. Yes, maybe they are your acquaintance, not your friend, and it's okay to call people acquaintances. Feel free to call people acquaintances. Not everybody should be called a friend, because technically, if you're not talking to someone in 10 years and you call them a friend, I think they are your acquaintance, to be fair. Because in 10 years, a lot of things have happened to them that you don't even have an idea. So what exactly is going on? If in 10 years you didn't speak to them, then how important are they to you? The highs and lows of your life, they know nothing. Some might have even lost their parents. You didn't even have an idea. So let's be friends with people that we want to be friends with. Show up for your friends, be there for your friends, and just generally be a good person, and let us preserve what it is to be human in this tough world. The world is tough. Don't be that friend who goes and then comes back to say, I'm sorry, and then goes again, comes back to say, nah, let's stop playing games. Let's take care of our friends. You can see the way IK showed up for Alex, even in death. And even everybody felt something that, damn, this guy is going to be hurt and broken. Show up for your friends. Let your friends feel safe with you, psychologically safe. Just show up and just show up. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm sorry Toyin dropped off. It must be her internet, just like I dropped off the other time. But thank you so much to everybody who showed up, to my team members, to all the awesome people. I'll see you some other time. If you haven't liked the video, please go ahead and click like on the video. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that. But I'll see you some other time. Do have a restful evening, and it would be here. You can watch it repeatedly and all of that, but I'll see you some other time. Bye.